Hi everybody, it's Miss BJ again. I miss you all, and I'm here to read you another story. And this one is one of my daughter's favorite books, and it's called Violet the Pilot. And it's written and illustrated by the same person. The same person did both jobs. He wrote the words to this story, and he drew and colored the illustrations for this story. Now, what's another word for illustrations? That's right, pictures or drawings. So Steve Brien is the author and the illustrator of this book, Violet the Pilot. And under it, it says, her inventions will take her sky high. All right, let's see if it's a wraparound. It's not. The front cover and the back cover are two separate pictures. Let's dive right in. Now let's stop on this page because it's very interesting. Some of you might have saw or have seen pictures like this before. This is called a blueprint, but we have done something like this in class before where we have had a picture and then we labeled. This is called labeling, where we write words and point to certain parts of the picture. That's called labeling. We've done that in class before, haven't we? And that's what Violet has done, because this is a drawing by Violet the Pilot, the character in this book. Violet the Pilot is the main character in this story. Remember when we've talked about characters before in a story? What's a character? That's right, a character is who the story is about. So Violet has drew this picture and then she's labeled it. And it says, The Hornet. Designed by Violet Van Winkle. And Violet is our character in this story. Here's the title page. Violet the Pilot by Steve Brien. Everyone in town knew that Violet Van Winkle was a little different. For starters, she and her parents lived in an odd-looking house next to the junkyard her father managed. And while other girls were playing with dolls and tea sets, Violet played with monkey wrenches and needle-nose pliers. Let's take a look at that house. What's odd-looking about it? Looks kind of like a boat, doesn't it? Violet was a mechanical genius. By the time she was 2, she could fix almost any broken appliance in the house. By 4, she could take apart the grandfather clock and completely reassemble it. Reassemble. That means to put back together. Since she didn't have any friends aside from her dog Orville, she would spend hours tinkering with things from the yard. Violet's parents were very proud of her, although they weren't too happy the time she put a lawnmower engine on her cousin's tricycle. Look at their faces in this illustration. Do they look very happy? Nope. The older she got, the more interesting Violet's creations became. Around the time she turned 8, she was building elaborate machines from scratch. And not just any machines. Flying machines. Wow. Her parents couldn't believe their eyes when they saw Violet zoom by for the first time. They were a little worried in the beginning, but they quickly saw that she was a pretty good pilot. Careful not to hit the house, Violet's father would yell. And put on a sweater, her mother would add. Violet used anything she could find in the junkyard to make her wonderful contraptions. There was the tub bubbler. What's that made out of? A bathtub. And the bicycopter. What's it made out of? A bicycle. And the rocket can. That's right. A trash can. The pogo plane. Pogo stick. The slide glider. Shoo. And the wingamajig, to name a few. Let's take a look at the wingamajig. Wow. Now let's think for a minute. If you were going to make a flying machine like Violet the pilot out of things that you could find around your house, what would you use? Think about that for just a little bit. And tonight I want you to look around your house and find some things that you could use to make a flying machine and write about it with your moms and dads. What would you use to make a flying machine? Violet's engineering was pretty sound. The only real hazards were tall trees, piles of junk in the yard, and bugs in her teeth. Yuck! Kids at school would see Violet eating lunch alone and make fun of her strange books and greasy coveralls. Claude and Clyde Mulrooney were especially obnoxious. Is it nice to make fun of others? Nope. It's not. It's not nice. Then one day, Violet noticed a poster in the drugstore window. Air Show, October 20th, it read. That's only 2 weeks away, Violet thought. Can kids fly in the show? Is homemade aircraft allowed? That night, Violet sat in her room thinking about the air show. She knew it would be a good feeling if one of her planes won a prize, and maybe then the kids at school would be nice to her. Violet pictured exactly where she would hang her blue ribbon. She and Orville spent the next few days combing the junkyard for just the right materials. When they had collected a giant pile of stuff, the building began. One day, the Mulrooney twins happened to pass by. "Look, it's that girl from school," said one of them. "What are you doing, weirdo?" "I'm building an airplane," she told them. The twins exploded in laughter, then mumbled something mean as they walked away. Orville barked at the boys, but Violet just went back to her project. "Take it easy, buddy," she said. "We're too busy to worry about them." That's a good attitude to have. Don't worry about the meanies. Finally, after days of hard work, Violet had finished making her flying machine. She named the magnificent new craft the Hornet. "Wait till the people in the grandstands see me flying this," Violet said to Orville. Look, he's taking her picture in front of it. The test flight was a success. Look, Orville fell right out, but not to worry, Violet scooped him back up.
I'll see you later.
I love On the day of the big air show, Violet took off, bursting with excitement. Her parents' faces had beamed with pride when they wished her luck, and she thought about that as she flew through the clear autumn sky. She calculated that the trip would take about 20 minutes. She would arrive just in time for the start of the show. Suddenly, something caught Violet's eye. In the river below, a group of people were waving frantically. What does frantically mean? Do you know what frantically means? That means they were waving wildly. Violet lowered her altitude to get a better look. A troop of Boy Scouts had ran into trouble while canoeing. Violet knew she had to help fast. It wasn't easy rescuing all the boys, but Violet piloted the Hornet with careful precision. Saving the Scoutmaster from going over the falls was particularly dangerous. Whoa. Let's look at that word. It says that she piloted the Hornet with careful precision. That means she did it exactly right. Violet dropped the grateful Scouts off at the hospital. Grateful. That means they were so thankful. Then she checked her watch. 3:30. She said to Orville sadly. We've missed the air show. She turned her plane toward home and sighed. It was a miserable feeling. That evening, Violet had no appetite for dinner. She just went upstairs and sat on her bed. And all of a sudden, she heard lots of noise outside the house. She and Orville went to the window and discovered that a crowd of people had gathered. Somebody spotted her. There's Violet! The boy shouted jubilantly. That's hard to say. Do you know what that means? That means with great joy. He was so happy. There's our hero! The Van Winkles stepped outside, squinting from all the flashbulbs that were popping. What does that mean? That means everyone was taking pictures. The press, the mayor, the fire and police chiefs, even kids and teachers from school had all learned of the rescue that day and had come to praise her. Young lady, please accept this Medal of Valor as a token of our gratitude and esteem, said the mayor, and he gave Orville a new collar with a license that read Canine Hero. Canine means dog. From that day on, Violet's parents let her fly whenever she wanted, but her mom still made her wear a sweater. The end. I hope you enjoyed this book. I'll see you next time. I love you. Bye.